This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Just thought common sense, like, hey, let's save the state some money.
Yeah, that's common sense with that stuff doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I can see that isn't going to work.
22nd of August, 2020. My name is Corey Winfield, and this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Welcome in. If it's your first time listening, this is a chance for me to talk about my recovery. I'm not a doctor, not a therapist, just things that I've learned along the way, and if I can pass them on to somebody else who could listen, pick up on it, or maybe listen, pass it along to a family member, friend. That's what we're here for, man. We like to have fun in recovery as well, so we don't talk recovery all the time, but usually during the episode there'll be something in there. Today was kind of a trying day, a very exciting day today. I proposed to my girlfriend, she's now fiance, a few weeks ago, and today we had to go look at a wedding venue, which was very, very exciting, and can I just do that? It's very stressful kind of because, I don't know, I don't really want to say like yes, no, but I want to just kind of take it all in, especially early in the process. If you've ever been married before, you probably know exactly how I'm feeling if you're a man. Maybe if you're a woman, you feel it too. But it was fun though. It was very exciting, and I'm sure you remember those feelings. So that's where I'm at today. So it was a very good day in that aspect. But I also got to realize today that when it comes to other people's feelings, there's not really much you can do to change how someone's feeling. Let me just say, like, if somebody feels slighted or hurt or something like that, and you're like, oh, it's because of me. Well, you can't feel that way, because don't ever say that. Because first of all, you can't control how someone else feels. You know, you can control by how you act, by how they feel about you, but as far as what they're feeling inside, you have nothing to do with that. You know, that's something that they can do and they can feel. So telling someone how to feel is kind of like telling someone what to do. And from Dale Carnegie, he'll tell you, people don't like to be told what to do. I don't like to be told what to do. You probably don't like to be told what to do either. So telling someone how to feel, don't feel that way, you shouldn't feel that way. Well, that's how they feel. And today, I did my best to express that the way that that person was feeling wasn't the way that I thought that person would feel, and how my actions weren't meant for that person to feel that way. But, you know, that person does feel a little hurt and a little slighted. So I did my best to kind of reach out and say, hey, you know, those weren't my intentions. But at the same time, you know, I know personally that I did nothing wrong, but still this person still felt that way. So, you know, what can I do about it? Nothing. At this point, there's nothing I can do about it. So either that person will just have to just go, okay, well, maybe I'll re-examine the situation, and maybe they'll still feel the same way. But at the end of the day, though, there's nothing I can do to change that person. Now, the old me would have said, well, whatever, that's stupid, you shouldn't do that, and blah, blah, blah. And I probably would have drank over it. You know, I probably would have made it into a full-fledged, just angry fight, you know, with somebody. And I did that a lot in my drinking days. I would take something that maybe someone would consider like a big deal and make it a small deal because it wasn't about me and I didn't really care. And, you know, I would still feel probably embarrassed that I acted that way. And then, you know, drinking was, of course, I'll feel better if I just drink this, and then I won't forget about it. And then, you know what? Then it is their fault. And then you unleash the drunk text and the drunk calling, and it's like, ugh. Like, and then the next day you wake up and you feel miserable, and if you can even pull up your phone to look what you wrote, and you're just like, oh no, let's go back to the store. I'm so glad that I don't have to do that today, and I don't have to live that way anymore. So that is a huge plus in my life right now. I also was talking to a guy earlier, and he was telling me that he's worried about going once COVID, if COVID ever goes away, going back to his job. And it was as a chef, head chef. And he said that because every restaurant he's worked in, there's always somebody who's selling something, who's got something, got a guy drinking all the time. So he just said, I don't know if I want to go back to that kind of environment. And then I asked him if there were any sober kitchens, if that was the thing. I don't know. I washed dishes when I was 14 in a restaurant. That's my only experience, so I don't really know. So I asked him if there were sober, kitchens, and he just kind of laughed. And said, I've never seen one. Okay. And I'm not saying all restaurants there are people, druggies working around, but this is his experience. And this is what he was telling me. So I thought, well, how about you just work for yourself? And just the kind of look on his face was like, well, yeah, no one's told me that before. And I explained to him how I started 217 Recovery and how we're a nonprofit and, we're legit with the government and everything. So I explained to him, like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had a 20-year radio career, so I was like, hey, I can touch up the website a little bit and do this and that. But as far as starting my own company and starting a nonprofit organization, I had no idea what I was doing. Still don't. but I'm moving forward with it, I know more than I did a year ago. So I explained to him too, there are going to be people in his life that are going to come out and say, oh, well, can you believe so-and-so, that druggie, he's going to start a business. Okay. But just ignore them. Those are the haters, and the haters are out there, and that's what they do. That's their job. They hate on people. And most of the time they're just mad because they're not doing anything with their own life. So don't be afraid to chase your dreams. And just because you don't know how to do it doesn't mean you can't find out how to do it. I mean, I couldn't imagine. Probably 50 years ago it would have been harder. But now with the internet, you can look all kinds of stuff up, and find people to back you. And if you're good enough at what you do, if he's good enough chef, he can throw out some ideas. Now, he's not going to open up a restaurant right there on Lake Michigan or anything, but start small, and what could you do and how could you make it good? This is my problem with some of the restaurants like down in Southwest Michigan. They will cater to the people that come for the summer months, and then they leave, and then they go out of business. And it's like, well, why don't you make it a point to say, hey, we are Michigan owned and we cater to our hometown people. And I would go as far as say, hey, look, show us your license, you'll get 10% off. If you're from, this area or this city, we'll give you 10% off. There you go. And be good at one thing. A lot of restaurants will, and I think maybe learned this from Gordon Ramsay or just common sense, but they'll try to go all over the place with their restaurants. And again, I'm not a chef. I don't know. I like to eat. So I'm kind of a professional. But they'll think, spaghetti, Italian, they'll have Mexican. Just make a good burger, man. And make it the best in town. Make pancakes. I don't care. Make whatever, but make it the best in town. And people will come back. If you have the product, people will come back. So my advice to him was, start up your own thing, man. I don't know, food truck, something, geez. I don't know. But just you could see the wheels turning, though. And I like that. I like when people can start thinking again. And I don't know how much clean time this person has, but he has some, and that's what's important. If you can remain clean, you can do so much. You really can. And you just got to have that hope, and you got to have that purpose. And with me, if I didn't have 217 Recovery, I would definitely be drinking and not learning about myself and going through the things that I have to go through. So don't give up on yourself, that's for sure. And don't let anybody else crush your dreams. They're your dreams. Have a vision for your future. What do you want? And we always talk about lists, but make that list of what do you want? What do you want to do in a year? Well, how are you going to get there? Write that stuff down and start crossing them off. I'm telling you. But don't give up on yourself. I am not giving up on myself, but I am going to end this podcast. You're listening to it. It's Sunday the 24th, or maybe whenever you're listening, maybe it's Monday. But I have another podcast coming with, I think this might be guest week again or something. I have a guy named Andrew, but his real name's Paul. We're going to get to the bottom of that. He was in treatment with me, year and a half ago maybe. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what is his real name. And on Tuesday, I have Jill Armio. She's an author, and she knows a lot about mental health. So excited to have her on Tuesday. And then, I don't know, Thursday, I guess, isn't booked yet. So we'll see. But thanks for listening. And that's just a little bit of my day today. You can get the app at the Play Store, Google Play Store, Google Play, whatever. 217 Recovery, search for that, download that. And it's easier to just have it on your phone, pull up the podcast, pull up the blogs, which are there. We're on all the other apps as well. Going to be on the App Store or in the App Store if you have an iPhone. So look for that soon as well. But yeah, find us everywhere and pass it along to your friends. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you